All right, what's going on, guys? This is 13 email and SMS marketing flows that you absolutely need to set up to increase your revenue for your direct to consumer e commerce store. Let's dive into it. All right, intro. So, when DTC brands are firing on all cylinders, they typically have the following 12 flows set up that I'm going to talk about today. You can definitely set up more, but these are the most common and typically drive the most revenue from what we've seen with our clients. You can absolutely add more complexity on top of what we're going to talk about today with conditional splits, more emails, new split tests, and customizing these flows more to your exact brand and customer journey. Overall, this is going to be a starting point for all your email and SMS flows, but not the end all be all. I'm not going to go into heavy detail on what should be included in every little tiny section within each email, just the general email topic. I'm not going to cover time delays as well, since it's a lot more appropriate for a later video where I can go and do a real deep dive on a certain flow. That could be 10 to 20 minutes per each flow. And again, there's no one size fits all approach, but this is going to be a rough outline. The exact structure of the flows are going to highly depend on your brand, but here's a quick summary. So we have email and SMS welcome flows. We have checkout, cart, browse, and site abandonment flows. Then we're going to have some post-purchase flows such as the customer thank you and upsell, your replenishment reminder, product review and cross-sell, customer win-back, VIP customers, and birthday gift flow. The great thing about flows is that they systematically move people along the customer journey, starting with people that are completely cold, never hearing about you, to a first-time purchaser, to a VIP brand enthusiast. They really generate revenue on autopilot. The great thing is, you set these up once, and for the most part, they continue to bring in revenue without you lifting a finger. When they're properly set up and optimized, typically flows bring in 12 to 20% of your average D2C brand's overall revenue, so they are a great source of income. You can see here, you can really map your flow to each point in the customer journey. So we can see here with the customer journey, people start with never hearing about the brand, then they move to an email list subscriber, to a first-time purchaser, to a second-time purchaser, and a third-time purchaser, and eventually they're a loyal advocate, and then they're a VIP brand enthusiast. And the email and SMS flows systematically move people along this journey, starting with the site pop-up form and welcome flow. These are highly tied together. That gets people from just hearing about your brand and visiting the website onto the email list. And then they either make a purchase or they go into one of the abandonment flows by checking out the site, they're browsing a product, adding something to their cart, or checking out and then not making a purchase. So these are essentially retargeting people who don't make a purchase with the abandonment flows. And then eventually they make a purchase and you thank them for the purchase, and then you upsell them. And then eventually you ask them for a product review and you sell them more with a cross-sell flow. And at this point, maybe they purchase and they don't make a purchase for a few months. That's when they go through the win-back flow to get them from inactive customer back into this ecosystem and moving along this systematically. So that in this point, we also have the back in stock flow that reminds people that when the item is back in stock, you can have the replenishment reminder, which reminds people of when something that's replenishable, like cosmetics or skincare or something similar like that, when something's due to be replenished, essentially. And then on their birthday, you can send them a couple of reminders about their birthday gift. And then also when it's time for it and they've made a few purchases along this cycle and they're moving into a VIP, you can have the VIP flow, which gives them a certain discount or an incentive or a thank you for signing up. Here's what you get when you are now considered a VIP. So again, it's a systematic journey that the flows create. All right. So while listening to me, just going to go through this very briefly. You can check out all my case studies on my website, link in the description. But we helped this brand add 58 grand in new monthly revenue, helped Mark here add 43.89% in new monthly revenue. We helped this brand add 57K in new monthly revenue in just 2 months. Helped this brand add an extra 26.4K in new monthly revenue, and helped this brand add 47.4K in new monthly revenue in just a month. All right, so the welcome series. This is going to be the series of emails that are sent to new subscribers immediately after they sign up for the email list. So it's going to typically give them the intro offer, which is a lot of times a discount. It's going to introduce them to your brand, foster a relationship, tell them everything that they need to know about why you guys are unique, and eventually it's going to convert them into a customer. So typically this is going to be 8 emails and 1 resent email. The trigger is when someone is added to the newsletter list. And in terms of the general structure, what we like to do is first have just an intro to the brand and a welcome discount email. And then if this first email isn't actually opened, you can send the same exact email with a different subject line and preview text, just to maximize conversions and get people to view this email. It's very important that they view it because it's going to be your most highly converting email, pretty much the number one most important email out of all your flows. It's going to generate the most revenue out of all of them. And then email number 2, we like to go with best sellers. Email 3 is a little bit more about the brand story. Email 4 is the last chance to use the discounts, and it's going to add in some social proof. And then email 5 is, benefits of shopping with you guys and what makes your store unique. And then for emails 6, 7, and 8, what we like to do is pick out the best performing evergreen campaigns. So these are just campaigns that have no discount or special promotion, and pick out the ones that out of the last 365 days perform the best and add them onto your welcome series. Because at this point, if someone has made a purchase throughout this welcome series, they're not going to get the rest of the emails. So at this point, if someone has gone through and they've gotten 5 emails from you and they've never made a purchase, you want to pick out the campaigns that have made the most purchases in the past, just as a last chance Hail Mary, essentially. So again, resend email number 1 to non-openers, and then add in your best evergreen emails to the end of the flow. And what we like to do is not incorporate SMS into this flow. We like to do a separate SMS welcome flow. A lot of reasons for this, but number 1 is that the fact that a lot of times people sign up for SMS multiple months after they sign up for email. And so if you incorporate both into the same flow, it's going to really mess things up on a technical basis there. All right, so SMS welcome series. This is going to be when someone signs up for SMS. These texts are going to give the intro offer. It's going to be very short, just quick discounts, and then introduce them to the brand a little bit. Typically just 2 text messages here. Again, when someone signs up for the SMS subscribers list, this is a completely separate flow. First, you're just going to welcome them to the brand and share the discount code. And then the second one is just a reminder to use the discount code if they haven't already. Quick pro tip, we like to do an increased incentive for signing up to SMS. So if you give 15% off for email, give 20% off for SMS, just because it's a little bit more invasive. People almost read all of their SMS messages, so it's a better thing to have. You'd rather have SMS versus email, and there's a legitimate reason to sign up for SMS. That's why we do it. All right, so the abandoned checkout flow. This is to reach out to customers who started the checkout process with items in the checkout, but actually haven't made a purchase. And so they're very, very close to making a purchase. So you just want to get that extra nudge to get them across the line. The goal is to incentivize them to return to their checkout and complete their purchase. We have 4 different emails and 1 SMS message in this. The trigger is going to be checkout started. And the structure of this is we're going to split test email 1A and 1B. Going to split test the time delay on those 2. And then if they're signed up for SMS, you can actually send them a text instead. And then email 2 is just a reminder plus the discount. We want to give the discount only in email 2 or email 3. That way you're not sacrificing your margins. And then email 3 is another reminder, 24 hours left. And then email number 4 is just 4 hours left, absolute final call type of email there. One thing I definitely want to talk about is the difference between the abandoned cart and the abandoned checkout. So there's actually 2 different triggers, and a lot of times D2C brands only have one of these, which means they're missing an area in the customer journey and they're missing out on revenue. So obviously the abandoned checkout is based on the checkout started trigger, and the abandoned cart is based off the added to cart trigger. So there's 2 different stages within the funnel, and a lot of times they'll have the abandoned cart flow but actually the trigger is, it'll be named the abandoned cart flow, but the trigger is actually checkout started. So it's really an abandoned checkout flow. And that means they don't have an abandoned cart flow, which means that they're missing out on revenue because they're missing those people that add to cart but don't check out. So we highly recommend setting up both with, both flows, 2 different triggers, pretty much the same messaging and structure, just a little bit different. The only, it's very much about 90% the same. Design is going to be about the same. Copy is going to be about the same. We like to split test slightly differently between the two. The abandoned checkout is going to be a little bit more aggressive just because they're so close to making that purchase and they're one step further down the line, so they're a lot warmer. So we can have essentially 2 different flows looking at different sets of metrics. That's the most important thing. It's just kind of looking at the reporting, and you can understand the e-commerce funnel and where people are dropping off versus not. All right, the abandoned cart flow, again, very, very similar. Not going to go through this, but this is for people who added items to their cart but didn't check out or complete their purchase. The goal, of course, is to get people to return back to their cart and complete their purchase. It's going to be the same structure, 4 emails and 1 SMS, same as the abandoned checkout. Trigger is a little bit different, but same exact structure here. We're going to split test the first email, going to have a reminder plus the discount, and then 2 reminder emails after that. One thing that you'll need to know is that if it's your first time setting up the abandoned cart flow in particular, you'll need to manually set up the added to cart trigger. You'll add this snippet of code to your store's product pages, and it's just a manual, bit of a technical process, not super difficult. You just have to do a quick Google search. It's going to depend on whether you're using Shopify or Magento or like WooCommerce. You typically don't have to set this up, but it just depends on your CMS. All right, so we have the browse abandonment. The browse abandonment is very similar to what we did previously with the cart and checkout abandonment. However, this is just for customers who have shown interest in a product by viewing it, but haven't actually added it to their cart. So it's less, they're not as close to a purchase. And we're going to send 4 emails and 1 SMS. Pretty similar structure, but it's just based off the viewed product trigger. Email 1 and SMS 1 is just a reminder of products that they've viewed. Email 2 is adding in objection handling and another reminder and social proof. And then in this one, what we like to do is set up a conditional split so that emails 3 and 4 are only sent to people who have not bought before. That way you're only sending a discount to 0-time purchasers and saving your margins. So that's what email 3 and 4 are doing. They're offering the discounts to people who have not bought before. And then email 4 is just the final call, last chance for the discount. Okay, site abandonment. Again, we're going back, we're going from browse to site. So if they haven't even viewed a product yet, this is where this flow comes in. If they've just checked out your website, but haven't viewed a product or added to cart or started the checkout or made a purchase, that's where this comes in. That's why there's only 2 emails in this flow. We don't want to bombard them or else they're going to think we're kind of spammy. The trigger is based on the active on-site metric. And the structure is the first email, it's just a very light, hey, saw you're checking out the site. Do you have any questions? Things like that. Tell a little bit more about your brand, add in some social proof. And then email 2 is anything you want them to know to make for them to make a purchase, but so you can talk about bestsellers and unique qualities of your brand, us versus them, social proof, et cetera, et cetera. So it's going to be just telling them information about your brand to get them to make a purchase. All right, so post-purchase flows. Number 1 is going to be the customer thank you and upsell flow. The purpose is to send emails after someone makes a purchase to thank them for their purchase, tell them how to best use the products, instructions, a little bit more about your brand, and to eventually upsell them to new products and similar products. So in total, we have 6 emails in this flow. The trigger is going to be based upon placing an order, of course. And how we like to do this is email 1 is going to be based on whether they're a repeat purchaser or a first-time purchaser. So if they're a repeat purchaser, we just send them 1 email that says, hey, thanks for making a purchase. If they are a first-time purchaser, we want to send them 2 emails in a sequence. First one is going to be welcome to the family. Thanks for making a purchase. Here's what you got. Here's when it's coming, etc. And then email 1B is FAQs and any other questions that they might have about the brand if they've never purchased with you before. And then we call it email 2, but this is going to be sent to everyone. It's product education and best use cases. This is a great opportunity to tell people, how to use the product and anything that they need to know after making the purchase. Email 3 is a direct thank you from the founder and a request for a review. And then email 4 is upselling recommended products. So you can see here, we set up conditional splits for this first email based on whether someone is a first-time purchaser or not. So you can see email 1, repeat purchasers, it's on the left. Email 1A and 1B for first-time purchasers is on the right. And yeah, this is an excellent opportunity to go a little bit deeper and give specific product recommendation and instructions based on the products that the customer purchased. So if you do have specific instructions for certain products, you can make a conditional split and include that in the flow. Another pro tip, don't send a review request if the product has not been delivered yet. So you need to factor in your typical shipping times and make sure that you're leaving adequate room for that review request email and you're not sending it too early. All right, customer win-back flow. This is going to re-engage customers who have been inactive for a certain period of time. Typically 4 emails in this flow. The trigger can be one of 2 things, either based on placed order, and if they've placed an order and not engaged in the last X number of days, or if they've entered the win-back segments. The structure is typically email 1A and 1B. It's going to be a split test based on the timing, but you're going to do a soft nudge or check-in just to put your brand back on their radar. Email 2 is offering the discount. So again, you don't want to necessarily give them the discount straight away, but you can tell them, hey, it's a limited time discount, only 48 hours left. And then email 3 is that last chance, only 24 hours left to use the discount. So talking about the time delay in email 1, for a less replenishable brand, you're going to have a longer time delay. So if it's furniture or jewelry or something that has that you're not going to buy as often, you want to have a longer time delay. So you can split test like 60 and 120 days of not making a purchase. If it's more replenishable, so if it's food or supplements or skincare, you can test 45 and 60 days, because if they've gone 2 months without buying your cosmetics, that means that they've gone through it, they've ran out most likely, and they're not making a purchase again, so that you're kind of solving that objection. With in doubt, we like to test 60 and 75 days just to see what works the best. You can also send this to people who have entered the unengaged segment, just based on how you want to define unengaged. And then you want to make sure that your win-back emails don't overlap with other post-purchase flows, such as the replenishment reminder. I see that a lot of times you'll get a bunch of emails all at once. You need to map out your entire customer journey and make sure that there's a huge time difference between the two. Also, email 3 here, last email in this flow, is a great opportunity to use a plain text email from the founder. All right, product review and cross-sell. So these are the emails that are sent to the customer after they make a purchase, asking for a review, and recommends complimentary or higher value items in that second email after they've placed an order. So what we like to do is typically 2 emails and 1 SMS message, and this is after they've placed an order or fulfilled an order. And so the first one is going to be asking for a review either by email or SMS, and the second one is going to be cross-selling similar or complementary products based on what they've previously purchased. You can also do a couple different things here. You could base off of ideally you'd base this flow off of when the product was actually received by the customer, like when it's landed at their house. However, there's not a good way to do this typically. So instead, you need to look at your timing of your placed order or fulfilled order versus your shipping times, and make sure that they're actually getting these review requests and cross-sell emails after they've received their first product. You don't want to send them too early. And then, of course, if they sign up for SMS, you can send them a text instead of an email. And then what you want to do is use dynamic product recommendation blocks in email 2. So you can I'll get to that a little bit later in the video, but you can basically show recommended products that are, based on what they already bought. So if they bought product A, you can show them, product B and C, which most people buy after they buy product A, to really speed up that second purchase. All right, wrapping up here, we have VIP customers. So this These are emails designed to welcome new VIP members to the list. So these are high value customers based on really whatever criteria you'd like. You can set whatever defines a VIP for your brand. You could essentially offer them exclusive deals, rewards, and kind of welcome them into your loyalty program. So typically it's just 2 emails. Trigger is going to be when someone joins the VIP segment. First email is welcoming them to being a VIP, telling what the perks are, and then giving the VIP discount. And then email 2 is reminding them to use the VIP discount if they haven't. So there's a lot of ways that you can actually define your VIP segment. At the start, you can make it just anyone who has purchased 3 times. That's a VIP, or you can go a little bit more complex like we did down here. This is what we would do if they've placed order 3 times or more, and if they've spent $120 with you guys or more. So you can base that off of your AOV or whatever makes sense for your brand. This is just an example. All right, and then replenishment reminder. So this is a flow reminding customers to repurchase items that are typically used and replenished on a regular basis. So this is best for supplements, food and beverage, cosmetics, anything that's replenishable. It wouldn't make a lot of sense for a furniture brand or a massage chair brand or like a greenhouse, like something like big items like that don't get replenished. It doesn't make sense to implement this flow. But if they're supplements, great. So structure of this, it's going to be based off of the placed order. It's going to have 5 different emails, email 1A and 1B. We're going to split test those. It's just a simple reminder, hey, looks like it's time to order again. Email 2 is going to be solving their most common objections about reordering, giving them a little bit more discount, pushing them to the subscription. Email 3 is offering them a discount for coming back. So if the first 2 emails don't work, then you can offer them a discount and it's only 24 hours left. And then email 4 is just the last chance reminder, only 4 hours left. And ideally, you're emailing them about 5 days before their predicted refill date. You can change up that exact timing, just depending on your average shipping time. For a less replenishable brand, you want to test 60 and 120 days. For a more replenishable brand, again, going back to the A/B testing, you can test 30 and 45 days. Just kind of depends on exactly your brand's metrics. Another thing you can do if you meet these certain criteria of having 500 customers, at least 180 days of order history and orders within the last 30 days. And if you have some customers who've placed 3 or more orders, then you can actually use this expected date of next order metric, which is really, really cool. It's in Klaviyo. It's in the predictive analytics section of profiles. And so if you match these criteria, you can actually trigger the flow based on when Klaviyo predicts them to have their next order. So you can look at, we think they're going to order on the 30th of the month. So we're going to send this flow email to them on the 25th. So 5 days earlier, so they have enough time to actually get the products before they run out. So it's a great reminder, something you could do if you meet these criteria. All right, then back in stock. So this is a flow telling customers when previously out of stock items they've shown interest in are available. It's just 2 emails, and it's based on when someone subscribes to the back in stock list and a couple other things like the item is actually back in stock. You want to send them first an email saying their item is back in stock, and then you want to give them a reminder if they haven't purchased to get the item while it lasts, because it can go out of stock and you don't want them to miss out. So this, of course, is best if your items actually do go out of stock and or you have a high number of SKUs. And you'll need to add in a snippet of code that adds the notify me when available button. You want to add that to your site. That way you can actually go on the site and visitors can add themselves to a waiting list so they get this email when the product is out of stock. All right, and then wrapping up here, birthday gifts. So I'm not going to go through every single email in this, but basically when it's the person's birthday, you want to give them a series of birthday wishes and special offers to really build a relationship with your customers. So 1 week before the birthday, you can offer a unique coupon or a gift as an offer. You can send them a reminder a day before your birthday. And then if they made a purchase on their birthday, you want to send them a thank you and a happy birthday email. Or if on their birthday they haven't made a purchase, you want to remind them and then have a follow-up. So this is kind of what the last part of that is. If they've on their birthday, if they've made a purchase, send this email. If they haven't made a purchase, you can send eventually these 2 emails right here, assuming they haven't made a purchase within there. You definitely want to use dynamic tables within this. And there's a couple ways that you can get birthday info. Number 1 is going to be a preferences page. So you can ask either in a flow or within a campaign. And then you can add in the pop-up form. If you want to add in their birthday info, you can add that into there either as the main pop-up, or you can sign up. You can use a retargeting form as well. And then, of course, the site footer is another great place to get birthday info. All right, a couple pro tips for all flows. Number 1, especially for abandonment flows, you want to use dynamic tables showing the exact items that the customer abandoned. Here's an example of what that looks like. And then you want to use dynamic recommendation blocks. This is a great feature. You can look at, you can essentially send an email based off of products that the customer has already viewed, or random products, or your newest products, or your best-selling products, or however you want to do it. You can dynamically add in product blocks. So it's really cool. This is an example here. So this is dynamically populated, and you can see here, based on the person, it's going to recommend this product, this product, this product, based on, if you want, however you want it. If you want bestsellers, or, products a customer has already viewed, things they may also like, things they've added to their cart in the past. However you want to do it, there's a way that you can add it in there. It's a great strategy. All right, that's it. If you are running a D2C e-commerce brand doing 6 to 7 figures per month, and you want to add 50 to 200K to your monthly revenue in 90 days, or we give you a refund, you have 2 options. Essentially, you can go check out our website, book a call, or send an email to that email for more information. All right, and of course, in this document, there's going to be more PDF guides. A lot of them here that I highly recommend you can check out, as well as some case studies. But yeah, thanks for watching the video. Hope you have an awesome one.